Football fans are uniting across the globe in support of Gaza with a Show Israel the Red Card campaign. The pro-Palestinian demonstrations are calling for Israel to be banned from international football. Will the football governing bodies take action like they did with Russia? Hello and welcome to Roundtable. I'm Enda Brady. Now, it's a movement that started with Celtic fans in Scotland and is now in over 70 football clubs in more than 30 countries. The Show Israel the Red Card campaign is gathering momentum, with fans showing their support for Palestine. But what difference can it make? Should football and politics really mix?
Football fans are making their voices heard. In stadiums across Europe and beyond, banners and chants are calling for Israel to be banned from international football. With pressure growing on the football governing body FIFA to take action. In Malaysia, hundreds of fans raised Palestinian flags inside a packed stadium. The movement echoes past moments in history. Apartheid-era South Africa was banned by FIFA and thrown out of other sporting events, including the Olympics, just as Yugoslavia was in the 1990s. Russian teams were also expelled from international competitions after the country's invasion of Ukraine in 2022.
Boycotting is the best way to achieve a peaceful solution with the state of Palestine.
Activists argue that Israel should now face similar consequences. But FIFA has remained cautious. It has historically avoided political disputes, emphasizing that football should unite, not divide. But with protests growing louder, will FIFA be forced to take action?
Well, let's meet our guests in Surabaya in Indonesia. We have Mohammed Rashid. He's a professional footballer for the Liga 1 club, Persebaya Surabaya, and the Palestine national team. In Madrid, we're joined by Panos Kostopoulos. He's a sports journalist. And in Liverpool, in England, we have Leyla. She's a football journalist. You're all very welcome to Roundtable. Mohammed, I'll come to you first. How have you been feeling seeing this huge outpouring of support for Palestine football and this campaign to show Israel the red card?
First of all, thank you for having me. To be honest, it's not rare to see this kind of support. It's been rising a lot lately. To be honest, it's very... for us to see this thing is a very proud moment, to see that the whole world is standing behind the right cause. It's just, like I've said before, it's sometimes hard to think that it takes this, this many casualties or this result for the whole world to see that, what's been going on in Palestine for the past over 75 years is just an unfair and it's just a cruel oppression. And for us to see this support by the whole world, and lately I've seen it in my last game that I've played in the league, the fans of PSM Makassar, they had the banner, their fans had the banner of Show Israel the Red Card. And to be honest, it was an emotional moment because it was the first time that I've seen it, I've experienced it on the pitch. Obviously, I've been seeing it online many times, and Celtic fans and all over the world. But to see that the whole world is seeing the real truth of what's happening, to be honest, it's definitely it's better to see it that way than obviously not to see any support. So for us, it's a good thing, and hopefully that this war will end soon and things will get better. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to live their life that way.
Thank you, Mohammed. Leyla, the speed of this campaign, the speed with which it has spread around the world is extraordinary. More than 70 clubs now, 30 different countries, 6 continents. It's quite an incredible campaign.
It's definitely, I will say, from what I remember as a football fan and in my career as well, this is definitely the greatest football league campaign that we have seen in recent history. I mean, we are witnessing actually a historical moment in football. I have never seen before fans from different countries, from even direct rivals, united for the same cause, to support Palestine and to also demand for justice, which is the background behind the Red Car Israel. These are football fans who are fed up of seeing their favorite sport, the beautiful game, being used in some way to whitewash the war crimes happening in Palestine by Israel. So they have said enough. They know football can be a force for good, and they are just using it to make it being seen in every stadium. So yeah, like you said, it's been spread across over 25 countries, over 100 clubs, fan bases have added to the campaign in 6 different countries. Is definitely amazing. And it's really, what is mind-blowing is the fact that sports media is not actually talking about it. This is a campaign that should be on every sports media forum page, and it's being actively ignored. And it's actually really sad, but yeah. Anyways, they are not being silenced. They keep trying. The calls keep growing. Every weekend you hear about a new fan base taking part of it, demanding for changes, not only from the world, but also from football authorities. So I think it's a beautiful thing to see, definitely.
Thanks, Leyla. Panos, that's a very good point, isn't it? That the media hasn't really given this the coverage it deserves. Many fans feel that this should be front page news, and yet it's the fans, the so-called ultra fans, who are organising this in various different stadia all over the world. I mean, this is grassroots driven.
Yeah, that's quite right. Like, to give you the background of the ultras, for example, I live in Spain, so I can talk about Spain right now. There have been protests in favor of Palestine before this campaign. And now they just, like, fans found through this initiative, let's say, they found a way to call for action through football. Like, showing the red card to Israel is a movement, I would say, that wants FIFA to take actions against Israel, but also it's a way for the fans to express themselves through football on this particular campaign. Like, it's been everywhere in Spain, at least. I've seen it in my native country, in Greece too. But it's, I would say, it's not easy for fans to get the visibility that they want. Like, ultras almost never get the visibility that they want for actions that they do. Only generally for something, when something goes bad, for riots, etc.
Mohammed, to you, what is life like for young Palestinian footballers in the occupied territories? You know, we read about harassment, intimidation by the authorities, roadblocks and checks everywhere they go, buses being delayed. Talk me through what life is like for some of your teammates.
Before the war happened, it was already hard. Now, obviously, after the war happened, there's no league in Palestine. It's been stopped since the October 7th events. But before then, it was just difficult. You know, when I used to play in the West Bank Professional League, many times when we used to travel from, for example, Ramallah to Hebron for a match, many times when there was problems or something rising, especially on Friday days. Fridays, you know, after prayer, most of the time, a lot of clashes happen and you know, protests and whatnot. And when these things happen, it really does delay a lot of the, you know, clubs traveling between cities. And I've experienced it more than one time, and I've experienced even worse than this in the Palestinian Final Cup. I was playing with Jabal Mukabbir. This was in 2023. And we were playing against Markaz Balata, and maybe in the minute 70 or 65 during the game, there was Israeli soldiers up the road, and they started to throw tear bomb gas into the pitch, into the stadium. Many of the players choked. We had to go inside the the dressing room to get away from this. So, long story short, these things have been always happening. Now that there's no league, I think if there was a league going on right now, I think it's almost impossible to play because the blockades they had they have now between the cities, like between Ramallah and Nablus and Hebron and Jericho and all these places. It's a lot. It's like 100 times worse than it was before. And it makes it even difficult to just move from city to city for, personal needs, let alone to play a football match. So, yeah, this is definitely, it's just an unfair situation. And the latest one is for the national team. We haven't had a home game since 2019. And lately we've been trying to play our World Cup qualifier against Iraq in Palestine and in Jerusalem. And it's just not happening. We have to go to play it in Jordan, and we haven't had a home game since 2019. The last one we played was against Saudi Arabia, and that was the last one. You're talking about 6 years ago. And to be honest, it's just, to me, this is very unfair. Being a player in the national team is very unfair because we haven't had a home ground advantage for 6 years, and being in the World Cup qualifiers, this can help a lot. You can gain a lot of points by playing in your home, but we just don't have that privilege. So, yeah, it's definitely unfair.
Thanks, Mohammed. Leyla, talk to me about how FIFA is handling this campaign then, because some people are saying there's double standards by the world governing body. Russia started its war with Ukraine in February 2022, and very quickly Russia was banned from all international football. And not only that, they had the Champions League final in St. Petersburg removed from them. And yet, Israel keeps playing.
Exactly. As you well pointed out, Enda, when it came to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, FIFA were very quick to act. It only took them actually 4 days to ban Russia from international competition. So we ask ourselves, after everything that we had to witness in Palestine, especially during the 15 months that Israel brutally launched an aggression on Gaza, why is it taking so long for FIFA to act? Like, the silence has been deafening completely. I mean, only last year, FIFA delayed taking a decision 4 times. And there is plenty of evidence of Israel violating FIFA's rules, let alone international law. Let's talk about the football authorities' laws. They have been violated so many times over the 15 months of genocide that we have witnessed, and we see the violence now extended to the West Bank. But it's not only that. We have to remember the 76 years of occupation that Palestine has been suffering. We have to remember the fact that FIFA has done nothing about Israel having teams playing based on Palestinian land. This is a complete violation of FIFA statutes and regulations. And you can totally talk about hypocrisy, double standards. We are already in 2025. Israel is about to play their World Cup qualifiers. There has been a lot of bad atmosphere surrounding not only Israel's national team games, but also every Israeli club game that has been played. We remember what happened in Amsterdam when Maccabi Tel Aviv played Ajax, the whole chaos that was around the game. FIFA can even ensure the safety of its own football fans now. So, yeah, there's plenty of grounds where to punish Israel at the moment, but no action has been taken. And the silence from FIFA so far, there is no explanation to it. I mean, the Palestinian Football Federation has been asking for and demanding for justice when it comes to all this violation of statuses from Israel. But yeah, FIFA just keeps delaying a decision, and so far we don't know whether they will be taking action and when. There is no answer to this yet.
Panos, how much of a headache is this campaign for FIFA then? Every weekend, seeing pictures online, TV cameras are in every football stadium in the world, and they're seeing more and more clubs and their fans get behind this campaign.
Well, it's clearly a problem for them. Well, talking about double standards that you just talked, it's quite true. And the thing with FIFA right now is that they are against involving politics into football, but in many occasions, they have done that by themselves. So what FIFA have to ask themselves right now is, should we follow the political route? Like if you see with Russia, for example, the US, the EU, they imposed sanctions on Russia, and straight away FIFA imposed sanctions on the teams. Now the US, the EU, they don't impose any sanctions on Israel, and FIFA will not take the initiative to say, well, let me deal with this on my own way. I'm going to take my political stance and say right now that Israel will be banned from from international football because 1, 2, 3, 4. So this campaign should be worrying the FIFA officials, but from the other side, there has been from all the football governing bodies, either it's FIFA, either it's UEFA, either it's the Spanish La Liga, or any other competitions, there has been a guideline saying that we don't want to use politics, social matters, or religious matters into football. And that's the line they are following right now, whatever the fans say.
Mohammed, how do you feel about the so-called double standards we're seeing then? Russia get banned immediately, Israel play on.
That is exactly what you said. It's just double standards. We came to realize that the world is a very unfair place. So it's just, to be honest, if we keep, personally, if I keep thinking about it, I'm just gonna go crazy, basically, But you just have, for me, I just have to start living with it, and I've been living with it because it's something that I cannot control. The only thing I can do is just talk about it and try to raise awareness about it. And to be honest, that's the most thing. Like that's probably the maximum that me personally that I can do. Like I don't have the power or authority to, change these kind of things. But we pray for that it that they take action against them, because to be honest, it's just if they ask to be fair against Russia for what happened between them and Ukraine. We also ask the fairness and the same equal treatment, for what's been happening in Palestine. And we're not only talking about football, we're just talking about basic human needs and human life in Palestine that we haven't been, having the right to, to live or the basic needs that the human body needs to live. We don't get that like other people do outside of Palestine. So it's just, it's a matter of, these minimal things that a person needs to live, basically.
Mohammed, can I ask you for your message to the hundreds of thousands of fans now involved every weekend in this campaign on behalf of the Palestinian football team? What would you say to the fans who keep turning up every weekend, bringing banners, flags, placards, and making their voices heard on this?
Of course, it's a big thank you from deep down in our hearts on behalf of the whole team and on behalf of all of Palestine, not only the Palestinian national team, every Palestinian that lives. We would like to always express our gratitude to all the people who have been showing support to us. This honestly, like I said, the only thing that we can do is raise awareness, and raising awareness through football, because it's such a big platform. It's the biggest in the world. And, these things being seen by the big ultras like Celtic and those other big clubs are giving their voice out and talking and not being afraid to talk about it. This is honestly, it's a big thing for us. And from the bottom of our hearts, we say thank you. And, hopefully that your words and your support will be heard. And inshallah, all this will end soon, with your help.
Thank you, Mohammed. Leyla, you often hear this argument that sport and politics should never mix. And yet, what we're seeing is ordinary fans, grassroots football, people standing up and saying, enough. What do you say when you hear that argument, sport and politics should not mix?
It's complete nonsense. I mean, football and politics, we have to already just admit it, have been connected forever. I mean, some of the most famous derbies are precisely famous because of their political background. So this is something that has been connected forever and will keep being connected. But when it comes to Palestine, precisely, I will say that this is not a political matter. I mean, what we are seeing is an humanitarian cause. What we are seeing is football fans just demanding social justice, just trying to be heard, just trying to make a difference from sports because they know how important it can be. I mean, we have seen it in the past. It has a precedent. The sports boycott played a big role during South Africa's regime apartheid in its downfall. So history could repeat itself. So I understand football fans taking this matter to the stadiums now. They are hoping they can play their part by doing this. So yeah, for sure, politics and football have been always mixed, and we see it mixed every time. I mean, yeah, why then we can go back to the same talk about banning Russia. If football and politics don't mix, why was Russia just banned 4 days after? It's just really disheartening to see that they will continue to use this complete nonsense of an excuse to not take action.
Panos, it's interesting to hear Leyla mention South Africa because that was a sporting and cultural boycott in the 70s and 80s that ultimately paid dividends. I mean, do you think this campaign can be successful?
In certain things, it can be successful. To be honest, I seriously doubt that FIFA will hear the fans because if you go to the proceedings, if you go to what has happened until now, they have clearly never heard what the fans have to say. So I think that raising awareness individually and as a group of fans at the stadium, this could help indirectly. For example, going to a football stadium, you could see why people love football. They love football and they love the team because the football stadium is the mirror, the picture of the society, which means that in one stadium, 30, 40,000 people, 20 people, 100 people, there's people from different social groups, from different classes, from different cultures, very different in general. And those people mix and they are there for one same cause. So when fans protest about something on the stadium, there are people there who take note. And these are small wins that could help the general cause. I don't think that, being honest, that movement will make FIFA to make a move. FIFA will not go into politics in this case, I think.
Thanks, Panos. Mohammed, to you, just final point. Can football in Gaza recover from what Israel has done to it? We've seen your stadiums blown up. We've seen your pitches ripped apart and occupied. Can football in Gaza ever return?
To be honest, the real question is, can life be recovered in Gaza right now? You know, the basic needs of life are not even there now. You know, as you know, water, for example, and drinking, normal, clean drinking water. You know, people cannot find that easily there. Life has became like it was hard before the war. Now it's a million times harder. And I think football to be recovered in Gaza, like for example, in the West Bank, it's going to take some time for football to recover, maybe a couple of years. If it's a couple of years in the West Bank, even though not like, you know, not like, I wouldn't say that the same thing happened in the West Bank. Obviously, no bombings, nothing, you know, except in Jenin, Tulkarem, but it's not as severe as Gaza. And it might take about 2 years for it to recover there. But in Gaza, I'm sure it will recover if there's an intention to recover it, you know, but that's going to take a very long time. And to be honest, right now, the main point in Gaza is just to recover the basic needs of life, which is, you know, home, shelter, food, water, these kind of things. And I think football is going to be maybe one of the last things that anyone will look at there, because it's just people are trying to live their normal, I'll say close to their normal life there after what happened.
And Leyla, as every weekend passes and more leagues are playing fixtures, It seems more and more fan groups are wanting to join this campaign.
Yeah, for sure. We were actually surprised, in my opinion, because I thought that the campaign will slow down maybe after the two first weeks since Celtic fans decided to bring the red cards to the stadium against Bayern Munich. But it's been surprising that every weekend you just, for me, I get sent the pictures by fans through social media, like Leyla, we did this, Leyla, we did that, which is so honestly overwhelming and beautiful to see. I think the call is going to keep growing. I think fans don't have it easy to because football authorities will definitely try to stop it somehow. We also saw how Celtic fans were fined, Celtic club, because of their actions of their fans, where they were fined when they brought some Palestinian support to the stadium back in 2023 in November. So football authorities, FIFA, might take some action to silence them. That might be a reason why they might slow down these protests in the stadiums.
We'll keep across it. Leyla, Mohammed and Panos, thank you all so much for your contribution on this one. Remember, you can see more discussion and debate on our YouTube channel. Just search for Roundtable, TRT World. But for now, from me, Enda Brady, and all of the team here, goodbye and thank you for watching.